Stop for one moment. Think carefully. What if the richest person is not the one with the most gold, but the one who still owns their time? Every morning, millions wake up believing they are building a better life. They work harder. They stay longer. They tell themselves, just a little more. But what if every day they are giving away the one thing that can never return? Money can be earned again. A house can be built again. Even a lost harvest can grow again. But one day of your life, never. Many people believe they are earning a living. Few ever ask what they are paying for that living. And the price may be far greater than they imagine. The story you are about to hear is not only about one young man. It is about every person who has ever traded today for the hope of tomorrow. Listen until the very end, because the last words may change the way you look at your own life forever. When people spoke about the hardest worker in the valley, they always spoke about one young man. They said his hands could tell good grain from bad faster than anyone else. They said no one could stand beside him for even 1 hour without falling behind. He smiled every time he heard those words. He believed that hard work would give him everything he wanted. He never asked himself one simple question. Everything for whom? The young man had learned the work from his father, who had learned it from his own father. Every morning before the sun climbed high, he stood beside great piles of grain. He lifted each basket, spread the grain, removed every stone, every broken seed, every piece of dirt, then filled clean bags again. His hands never rested. His eyes almost never missed a thing. One day, the master of the field came to watch him. The master stood in silence for a long time. Then he said, "You work better than 10 men together." The young man bowed. "I have an offer," the master continued. "Work only for me. Sort all my grain. For every full bag, I will give you 1 gold coin. It is a fair price." The young man looked at the shining coin in the master's hand. He had never held so much wealth before. "I accept," he answered without waiting another moment. The next morning he began. The work never ended. When one wagon became empty, another arrived. When one harvest was finished, another filled the yards. Every season brought more grain than the one before. The master bought more fields, built more barns, and hired more workers. Yet the young man stayed the best of them all. His hands became stronger. His back became harder. His chest filled with gold. Each evening he counted the coins. They made a bright sound as they touched each other. One day, he whispered, "This will give me a good life." Then he closed the lid and returned to work the next morning. Years passed like birds crossing the sky. He hardly noticed them. Sometimes he heard children laughing near the river. He wanted to stop and watch them play, but another wagon was already waiting. Sometimes he smelled bread baking in the village. He wished to sit outside with warm food and slow conversation, but another pile of grain stood before him. Sometimes he saw old travelers speaking about places beyond the hills. They told stories about great forests, high mountains, and an endless sea that shone like silver under the sun. The sea, since he was a little boy, he had dreamed about seeing it. He imagined standing where the land ended and the water reached farther than his eyes could follow. "I will go after one more harvest," he told himself. Then another harvest came, and one more after this. The words became part of his life. The master often walked through the barns. "You are doing well," he said. "Look how much gold you have earned." The young man smiled with pride. The master smiled too. The barns grew larger every year. The chest grew heavier every year. The dream stayed exactly where it had always been, waiting. One winter evening, the young man opened his chest again. There were more coins than he could count. He picked one up. It felt cold. He picked up another. It felt exactly the same. He suddenly remembered the first coin the master had placed in his hand. Back then, it had seemed full of promise. Now every coin looked silent. He closed the chest without counting them. The next morning he noticed something strange. His hands shook a little. By evening, they shook even more. His steps became slower. Young workers now carried bags faster than he could. For the first time, he understood that strength does not stay forever. Days later, he walked past a small pond. The water showed him his face. His hair had turned pale. Deep lines covered his skin. He stared at the man looking back at him. "When did this happen?" he whispered. No one answered. That night, he could not sleep. He saw the sea in his mind again. Not the real sea, only the dream of it. A dream kept alive for so many years that it had almost become more real than his own life. The next morning, he carried his heavy chest to the master's house. The master opened the door. "You have come early," he said. The young man placed the chest on the ground. Every coin inside gave its small, bright sound. "I have brought everything," the young man said quietly. The master looked at the chest. "It is a fine reward for many years. I do not want the gold anymore." The master looked into his eyes. "What do you want instead?" The young man took a slow breath. "When I was a child, I dreamed about seeing the sea. I wanted to walk where I had no work to do. I wanted to wake without hearing wagons. I wanted to live 1 year only for myself." He pushed the chest forward. "Take every coin. Give me back 1 year." The room became very still. The master did not touch the chest. At last he spoke. "You do not understand our deal." The young man frowned. "I paid you well." "You did." "I never broke my word." "You did not." The master looked at the old worker with calm eyes. "But I do not sell time." The young man stared at him. "I bought it." The words seemed too simple, too small. Yet they struck harder than any stone. "You gave me your mornings." Silence. "You gave me your evenings." Silence. "You gave me your strength." Silence. "You gave me the years when your feet could walk far without pain." The young man's hands slowly opened. The master continued. "I gave you gold because that was the price you accepted. But the thing you sold was never grain. It was never your hands." He pointed gently toward the old man's chest. "It was your life." The young man looked down at the coins. For the first time, they did not shine. They looked like dull pieces of metal. He suddenly understood. All those years he believed he was collecting wealth, but every coin had been paid for with something that could never return. His first laugh, his first gray hair, the chance to see the sea while his legs were strong, quiet mornings, long evenings, simple days that belonged only to him. He reached into the chest and held one coin tightly. It could buy food. It could buy clothes. It could buy a house. But it could not buy yesterday. It could not buy one sunrise already gone. It could not buy one lost spring. It could not buy 1 hour of youth. He let the coin fall. Its sound filled the room. It was the poorest sound he had ever heard. He left the chest where it stood and walked away with empty hands. The road before him was short now, too short for the dream he had carried since childhood. No one knows if he ever reached the sea. Some people say he did. Others say he never had enough time. But everyone remembers the chest of gold that could buy almost everything except the one thing its owner truly needed. The lesson is simple, but many people refuse to see it until it is almost too late. Money is useful, but it is never your real wealth. Your real wealth is the time you still own. Every day you spend only making another person's dream bigger, while your own dream waits for someday, is a day that never comes back. Ask yourself at the end of each day if you moved even one step closer to your own freedom. If the answer is always no, then you are not only earning money, you are slowly giving away the one treasure that cannot be replaced. Stop selling your time for small rewards before you wake up holding a chest full of metal and an empty life.